How you going? My name's Luke Bradley. I'm here to tell you a bit about myself and about my testimony. I grew up in a rough place with my parents and that. I'd watched my siblings be molested and things happen throughout life. My father died of drug overdoses. My grandparents died of drug overdoses and a very violent background, and I wasn't violent, but I grew to be a very self-destructive young man. In this time, I was very dominant and I was controlling. I became the head carpenter of the West Australian Water Corporation, and I wouldn't take no turkey from anybody, and I ruled with an iron fist. But I was missing something in my life. I got to a point of a 15-year relationship, and I was just questioning God. I was like, there's got to be more than this, Lord. I had the money. I bought a house when I was 24. I was in a good area. I had nothing to complain about, but I was just lacking spiritually. I was thirsty. I turned to God, and I was just, God, there's got to be more to this. And then I think He accepted that and then He started correcting me, because my life got quite hard after that conversation with God. I lost everything at that stage of my life when I was 28, and I started getting into God, but I didn't take it as a serious conversation with the Creator, and I kept playing up, and I fell into drugs and alcohol quite badly myself for another period of my life. I was hanging around, bikies that had shot 2 cops and been in prison for 15 years, and people with tats all over them, and wild parties and drugs and alcohol. But I got to another point after that, and I was like, Lord, I'm coming. I kept saying I'm coming, like I was still mid-conversation, but nothing got better or improved in my life because my behaviour hadn't. And as soon as I started taking God seriously, I put myself in rehab, and I started to take the right steps to clean myself up and do the right thing for the Lord. I ended up sobering up and staying sober for 2 years and studied the Bible for a year, but I still wasn't getting the actual. It was more of works. I was trying to earn His love and my way to heaven through works, rather than to know my salvation and to know my authority in Christ. I had a lot to learn. I lost everything again for the second time because I wasn't honouring my family, and our first ministry is our families before we reach out and do anything. So if we're not leading our families appropriately, God will either take it away or the enemy will destroy it, and you will let it destroy it because you don't know your authority in Christ. I ended up homeless and on the streets and had to grow spiritually. I had a lot of places to go, but they were all places I didn't want to be. I wanted to just deal with my emotions and get into a deeper relationship with God, so I just sat there and spoke to Him every day. He revealed a lot of things to me over this time. He revealed some really, really deep things in spiritual realms, and just self-growth and the love that He has for me. Once you open your heart and surrender and submitting to Him and let go of control of yourself, because none of us are truly in control. God's in control, or either the worldly king is involved, which is the enemy, and he will have his way with you or leave you, or God will allow it because you're living in a way that is not pleasing to the Lord. I come to the revelation of that His love for me and my authority in Christ after He put me through the ringer, and I'd learnt my lesson, and I was like, righto Lord, let's go, let's get out of here, let's stop this nonsense, let's get our lives together. And I started pleading the blood of Christ and started to know your authority in Christ. That's why the enemy is scared of us, because once you know that we're children of God and you do not fear the enemy, your healthy fear, your reverence fear is for God Himself. Once you have that fear for God, you can please Him, and without faith it's impossible to please the Lord. So with faith, fear the Lord with reverence fear, and then have your faith anything is possible, and know your authority. We're his children. So I started pleading the blood of Christ, and within 2 weeks I was back at home on my couch. I was funded with a lot of money, and just blessings after blessings, things like this opportunity to speak to you guys, to reach out. It's not a reward system. He will bless you as he sees fit. But he's done miracles throughout my life, and without him I wouldn't be alive with some of the things I've done. At this stage, I'm just happy to be able to be alive and be able to be a father to my children and help other children out. So if you think your life's too hard, it's never too late, and Jesus is always loyal and faithful to the people that are faithful to him. So you've got nothing to lose. If you're down and out and you've got nothing to lose, there hasn't much paths I haven't taken. I've taken every path but Jesus. And now I've taken him seriously, and he's taken me seriously. So he's blessed me. So be blessed.